knew I was in for something special when the movie opens up and it does not say this is based on a true story. It says this is a true story. And I was like, you can't say that, as we learned in The Woman King, without being absolutely, this is really what happened.
Right.
And I'm in.
Untitled Film Project Podcast, for those of you that were waiting for finally the D-Day Normandy invasion movie that talks about the weatherman that was part of the story. Pressure is finally here.
We have 3 hours. Go or don't go.
We have a small window, but the timing must be perfect.
You want me to send my men into the storm?
They'll never see it coming, sir, never.
Why should I trust you?
We must face the facts! The facts! However frightening they may be!
All right, we're going to get into this period piece starring Brendan Fraser, and we'll also ask the big question.
Big question is, what's an irrational weather opinion that you have?
All right, initial thoughts on Pressure, the story of the meteorologist that fought against all the other meteorologists to give the forecast for D-Day. Justin Bradford.
I feel like you're just going to make fun of this movie the whole time, Jen.
I'm not. There's going to be an element of that, but there will be more.
I thoroughly enjoyed this film because, one, I'm a weather nerd. If you don't know how much of a weather nerd that I am, then you should look at my social media, to the point that I had family thinking I was quitting my job to go to meteorology school.
Well, they probably were panicked.
Yeah, I do have some certificates in severe weather storm watcher training. Do have a weather radio, which everyone should have.
Everyone should have that.
You should have a weather radio, especially if you live in the Southeast or in the Midwest. You should absolutely have a weather radio. Anyways,
Do you have a special hat?
I do not have a special hat.
What does the special hat look like, Jim?
I figured the weather nerd would know.
The cumulonimbus cloud.
Tell me all about it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really, I know the marketing, some of the untold story, but from a pure movie perspective, I was thoroughly intrigued the entire time. I was entrenched the entire time. It had me hooked immediately. One, because I'm a weather nerd, but two, we're getting a World War II movie that isn't just about the fighting. It's about the strategy. And I love so many movies that come out that are war movies that talk about the strategy that don't necessarily involve the invasion part of the fighting. It's the lead up to it. It's the whole strategy behind it in the mind, the brain working, because you cannot win war without having good mind. Like, yes, you need brute force, you need power, you need all this, but you're not winning anything unless you have strategy and that you have good mind. And this puts into account why science was so important and played a role in changing the course of history for the world. And you put it in perspective like that, it makes you think how much it meant. Now, yes, you can joke a little bit, but the performances completely overshadow anything that could have been a little funny about this for me, because Andrew Scott, deserving of nominations already. With a movie this early in the season, absolutely deserves a Best Actor nomination because he was absolutely incredible. And it's the performances that help sell the movie, because yes, it could turn into something where people eye roll. But you're talking about the weather? You're making a movie about the weather and war?
I want to know about the pitch to the studio. Right. Hey, World War II.
We got something.
But guess what? Weather.
Brendan Fraser's on. Academy Award winner. He's going to be Ike.
The nerd with a pencil writing down the barometric pressure is the star.
But aside from Andrew Scott and even Brendan Fraser, Carrie Condon.
Oh, man.
Like, the cast is killer in this movie. And it's a short film overall. And it was an hour 40?
Yeah.
Hour 49, something like that.
Right.
They accomplished so much. Yeah,
standards.
it accomplishes so much of storytelling. I know I'm taking a long time for my initial point, but because that's how much I enjoyed the film, because it's something and a topic that I thoroughly am just in. I love weather. And so to see something that means so much to history that I personally did not know about, I don't think many people truly did, unless you're a World War II aficionado where you truly are If you're a boomer and that's all you do is watch the History Channel, you might have known, maybe. but most people probably didn't. So I'm glad the story got its due. I'm glad James Stagg got his story told and how close he was to the situation. And we'll talk more about it, but that's my initial story. I really enjoyed it.
I really do feel this movie was pitched to the executives by saying, okay, everybody who watches the History Channel at full volume and all the people that watch the Weather Channel at full volume are going to love this. They're going to come together like two storm fronts, and this is going to be amazing. Now, I'm saying all this. I am laughing at this movie and the premise, and I will not stop. I will not apologize for it. But I also had a good time. I love me a good historical drama, and I love learning new things about the invasion of Normandy and all that stuff. So I think they did a great job. I was completely there with set design, costumes, and they did a great job with it beyond the, I'm going to call it, somewhat silly premise.
Scott was great. I'll just do acting. Scott was great. Again, I agree. Very well could be on my Music City Film Critics Association ballot for Best Actor at the end of the year. Carrie Condon was great. I doubt it because there's a lot of great movies coming up, but she could find her way on the ballot as well in her category. But Brendan Fraser, you guys, was so distracting. It was a
problem.
I'm willing to say that the entire potential, the movie was great. The entire potential of the movie is unraveled by him being cast as Eisenhower.
Why?
Yes,
because
it's not a Brendan Fraser problem.
Right.
It's a
That's right.
casting decision.
He was fine, but he's not Ike, right? So when I look at the screen, all I saw was Brendan Fraser. I did not see General Eisenhower, future President Eisenhower. Now, again, if he was cast as one of the, if he was cast as Stagg, maybe, because I didn't know who that was until this movie, which of course is a great thing, right? If he was cast as him, I might not have had that problem. But because I know what Ike looks like, because he's obviously a tremendous figure in American history and world history, I know what he looks like. I know what his frame looks like. I know what his head is supposed to look like. And all I could see was Brendan Fraser on screen. I could not see Ike at any point. So for me, he was distracting and took me out of the movie every time because all I could think was, oh, it's Brendan Fraser. Oh,
not only could I not see Eisenhower when watching Brendan Fraser, when he gets upset and he's yelling to all the other generals and meteorologists, all I could see was Matt Foley living in a van down by the river.
I don't know if I go that far. But
that's what I saw. In fact, if you close your eyes and you listen to a clip from this movie and from SNL, they're almost identical.
I know what part you're talking about now.
So
now I won't be able to unsee it. But
So are you saying almost would have been better to cast more of an unknown person?
Absolutely.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm saying do a fresher face and then put him somewhere else. And I'm not saying Brendan Fraser's not good.
Right.
I'm not saying that.
I love me some Brendan Fraser.
I'm simply saying
Okay, I can see what you're
in that
saying.
specific role, it was too distracting because he is the guy that everyone knows.
I just wanted clarification.
I needed somebody with absolute commanding presence, and I don't think he quite was there, and it's not his fault.
No.
They just should have put a different person in
Oh,
there.
so Glenn Powell. Okay.
Thank you. Yes,
No.
Glenn Powell, put him in everything.
No. The Running Man!
We already do.
We already do.
And now for Weather on the 8s.
The Weatherman!
Think about how recent it is for us to have the technology to truly make weather predictions.
This taught me that, actually.
Okay? Okay? Like, think about it. You had meteorologists that were using historical data and just weather balloons. That's it. Right? There wasn't much else. They talk about this. They're using historical data. Well, because it happened this many times on this day, it means it's going to be like this on this day. That's what it was not long ago. We're talking less than 100 years ago. We were not able to predict the weather, let alone give warning or things like that. And you think now, because of satellites, because of so much other data we have in the oceans with trackers, so much weather data that we can really precisely, I know people will make fun of it, the meteorologists always get it wrong. It's science. It's always changing, okay? So shut
the
up.
details, maybe.
But overall forecasts.
The fact that there will be bad weather that could result in tornadoes is correct.
Exactly.
99 times out of 100.
Winter weather.
Whether there will
all
be
that
a tornado,
is hard to predict.
we will look back 80 years from now and go, they couldn't tell there were going to be tornadoes?
Exactly.
You kidding me?
But it puts in perspective of that you have this, the war is based on this whole thing, really. The success or the failure of the Allies relies on forecasting that is over unpredictable, and you have James Stagg, who's using more science as much as possible by gathering all this data to try to make a good prediction.
Making this the Moneyball of D-Day
Yes.
Oh,
movies,
that's
right.
Seriously.
Show me
Seriously.
the data.
Yeah, it's all about what is being collected, and he's just harping on them. This is important. So hopefully it opens some eyes, like it did for you, Gover, that like this is how much we've evolved in terms of weather technology and just in science in general, how science is always changing, but how it plays a role in so many things. We don't hear about it, but you think of any time there's been, say, an airstrike or something else that's happened during a war, whether, say, it's Desert Storm or in Iraq or in Vietnam or anything, but especially more in the modern times in the past 30 to 40 years, how much technology's evolved, that plays a role. It's just not talked about because, like, is it good weather? Yeah, okay, good. It wasn't that easy before. So it really puts a good story on how important the science is to being successful or not in so many facets of life.
Were you there in the pitch meeting? Because you were selling this pretty well. I mean, like, you are an advocate for,
I am an
for
advocate.
the Weatherman for D-Day movie.
You mean the
Weatherman! I didn't know where he was going with that for a second.
you thought
Sorry, I was like, wait, oh yeah.
But that's why I was just so entrenched in the movie because of Andrew
I love
Scott's.
how it's not even Coleman Domingo in this movie. And it's still, sorry.
But that Andrew Scott, I'm sure some of the actors like, we're doing what? Like, you want me to talk about this? This
Yeah.
is a serious scene. This is going to be. You want me to talk about high pressure and low pressure systems, and there's a storm and the jet stream, and you want me to be like Oscar worthy? Got it. Like that's like I get it. I totally get it. But that's where I was able to just fully be into it because the performances, right? Like that's why I really enjoyed the film, because these actors overall, I know the problems that we've had with Fraser, with the casting of Fraser, not him.
No, yeah, the casting of Fraser, yes.
But with Scott and especially Condon, that they put in the effort to make this a serious film.
They're very good.
Very, very good.
it's so good.
Just the perspective. And so I can't emphasize enough how much the movie meant to me as someone who's a major proponent of just meteorology, but also I love history, and to have those two things come together. And I know there's no point to this. It's just more of I'm trying to sell it because it's probably been buried in so many other movies that are out right now because there's so many, but it is really good.
Dad wants to see it. Take him to see the movie.
Yes.
All right, let's get scores for Pressure.
This will do what Saving Private Ryan did for that generation. This will do for this generation. And I don't mean like, unforgettable scenes, intensity, and like all the stuff that Saving Private Ryan, especially the opening scene, right, is known for. I'm not talking about that. What I mean is it will educate, or actually it'll create curiosity for the viewer to go learn more about either American history or at the very least D-Day and the heroes that stormed that beach and won the war for the Allies eventually, right? So for me, you cannot put a better quantifier on it than that. Then it will pique interest so much so that people will go home and curiosity will get the best of them, and they'll watch YouTube videos and they'll read books and they'll look up resources online and they'll really try to learn and soak up information about D-Day, because not only is this movie really, really, really good, but on top of that, it, like we've been talking about, it's an aspect of war that it's about. It's not about, yeah, of course, it doesn't happen without the men storming the beach. And it doesn't happen with the strategy of, okay, well, we'll do it on this day, and that's the beach that they don't think we're
With the
coming
moonlight.
Right, yeah, right. Of course. But the weather, down to the point where the weather will open up at this exact moment within 5 minutes or whatever it is. And then that's the window of opportunity. to that level. Otherwise, we got to kick it down. Was it 2-3 months away? And
2 weeks.
Yeah,
which
2 weeks,
changes everything.
Which
in
changes
the
that,
war.
right. So the strategy part of it is so enlightening and it's so awesome. The last thing I'll say is I knew I was in for something special when the movie opens up and it does not say this is based on a true story. It says this is a true story. And I was like, you can't say that, as we learned in The Woman King, without being absolutely, this is really what happened.
Right.
And I'm in. Right.
Few liberties being taken.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, they got to dramatize some stuff,
Right.
but the fact that that actually happened is pretty incredible. Brendan Fraser really is the only thing that holds me back in this.
Oh, you're struggling with this.
Yeah, because, and I wrote about this on the Untitled Film Project Pod.com in my spoiler-free review.
Oh.
Is I said that the only real blemish is the casting of Fraser in that specific role. And because of that, I have to take enough points off. It's 7.0 for me. If he's not in that role, let's say he's Stagg and Andrew Scott is that doesn't work, but just go with me on this. Is Eisenhower, it's probably an 8.5. It is that good of a movie and that curiosity prone that I'm in. I was all in. It just took me out of the scene. Every time I saw Brendan Fraser, I was like, golly, that's Brendan Fraser.
7.0.
Yeah.
Are you me? You have a lower score than I'm going to give it. I'm the guy who's been cracking on this movie the whole podcast.
The nuts and bolts of a project come down to performances and casting. So it's a massive casting faux pas. So Brendan Fraser is.
And you are on the mark with that criticism.
Thank you.
I fully endorse what you're saying about the casting of Brendan Fraser. I really like this movie, and there's so much of this movie to recommend, and everything is done at a high level. Brendan Fraser in that role was a serious problem because it took me out of the movie. Like almost everything that I'm going to mention here is what took me out of the moment. And one of the other things was the reverence for the weather guys. And like, I just didn't buy that, like every general who is commanding a world army, I'm going to be quiet because the weatherman walked in. Like, I just don't buy that. Like, I mean, that's just
they did have the no or no go,
it's
though.
a small thing, but there was almost like a ooh, which I think is a modern day
I did not get
reverence
that at all.
for.
And every meteorologist is like, that's right.
And that's
Put
the
some
way it
respect on my
should be.
name.
I just don't think it was back then. They should have that respect, but to me, it didn't seem like appropriate.
Jump
to
in
the
your
period.
time machine and go see.
Yeah, and the premise of the movie is its biggest problem for me. Besides Brendan Fraser, it is the fact that, oh my God, he's going to give the forecast. How is it going to turn out? Exactly the way you were taught in school. Yep, that's what happens. So yes, there's tension, but I don't know. Knowing everything that you do, I'm going to give it a 7.5, but it's for those two things. It's I don't know if the weatherman is that big a deal as much as you guys do, and the casting. So I'll give it a higher score than that guy.
He was that important
Give me credit for that.
because if they had to delay, remember the whole part about the moon, they needed to be able to set up the strike for the moonlight. So it had to be enough for the moon to light things, and it wouldn't happen for another 2 weeks. So the moon would have enough moonlight shining if they just delayed it by a day. So it was a big deal because originally we were going to have to delay the strike, and it was everybody's up in arms because they're going to say no go. The weatherman had enough power because if they risked invading during a storm, more lives would be lost. Invasion fails.
And he just had the failure at Operation Tiger.
Right.
So that's on his mind.
Not saying that is not a huge factor in all war and in that historical moment. It's just a weird thing to hang your hat on.
But they do it well, that weird thing.
They do the weird thing quite well.
And you have no problem with other movies doing the weird thing well.
Tiny. I think it's just like there are so many ways you could go, And I don't know if The Weatherman was the one for me.
We've seen them all. That's the problem.
Even though Jim gave it a decent score, I think Jim was unsold before he went in and saw it because of the press.
Oh, really? I was going to say, I don't necessarily think so. I think it's how they deliver it.
Based on,
he's admitted it.
I said what every person seeing a trailer for this movie said. They're doing a movie about the weatherman.
But not every man.
Okay.
I was like, a movie about the weatherman?
Every non-weather nerd.
Yes.
I think everybody else said, really? Okay. What about the guy who shined his shoes? Are we going to do a movie about that?
And then every person
did that have a domino effect that saved hundreds of lives?
Every person loves watching the History Channel is like, I'm in. It's another history movie. There's going to be sold.
Don't diminish the guy who shined his shoes. It's all about discipline.
If he saved thousands of lives, eventually, that's an angle.
Butterfly effect. Yep. If he didn't get a shoe signed that day, with it. To be perfectly shiny. Anyways, while I understand and appreciate your guys' thoughts on Brendan Fraser, I personally was not distracted, but I know my reason why. I was too distracted in the best way possible with the story itself that it didn't take me out of it. Like, I was so entrenched in the film that I was not taken out because of Brendan Fraser as Ike. That's me personally.
Good for you.
Right. So, like, I get what you guys are saying now, put it in perspective with your explanations. I just didn't personally feel that way because I was just like, story. I wasn't trying to think of Ike as Ike more than anything else.
The real events were enough.
It was enough for me.
Yeah.
Again, I think I've sold enough of what my thoughts are on this, but incredible performances. I really enjoyed the storyline. It was just great focus on how important science is in so many facets of life that maybe it doesn't get talked about enough. In this movie puts that in perspective, especially in wartime when lives are at stake. And you even think in our everyday lives, when it comes to severe weather, lives are at stake. And just because it doesn't happen near you does not mean things don't happen. So hopefully this puts some perspective in there of how far we've come to be able to predict these things and how many more lives have been saved, because I'm sure, and it didn't even touch on this, that because of science used during World War II, because we see this every time there's a major war, right? Technology vastly improves because you take what happens during war, problems you're trying to quickly solve, technology ramps. I'm sure we saw a huge boost in weather tech because of what happened during World War II. Because of how important it was, I'm sure we saw major advancements take place. So like we've seen with every other war or major historical event, huge technology advancements take place. That's the perspective I'm taking from this too. It's not just about D-Day, but think about the role weather plays in our everyday lives. Is it going to be a good day? Yes. But not every day is a good day. And you see probably the future funding that came into weather with NOAA and everything of how important it was, because they realized, well, if we would have waited 2 weeks, we probably would have lost the war.
Yeah.
But we were able to find that window that was sold to be able to make the strike happen. You know, it's not perfect. It was a good enough window to make it happen. So I think that perspective is what I'm hoping people walk away from the theaters with. And yes, great movie, great performances, but it's perspective that you take with you into where we are now. So with that, I give it an 8.5, just because of overall performances, especially Andrew Scott and Carrie Condon, more than anything else. Because yes, I think it's going to be difficult for a supporting actress for Carrie Condon, even though she could very much deserve it because we have the rest of the year to go. But Andrew Scott 100% deserves a Best Actor nomination. Flat out. I don't care what else is coming out this year. He deserves to be in the mix on that. I really enjoyed it. I love the perspective. I love weather. I love me some weather.
All right, big question time. It's weather related.
It is.
All right, we get a little lighter here. What is our big question?
What's your irrational weather opinion?
Is this like the government controls the weather, that kind of thing?
It's whatever. I think whatever you want it to be. I want to leave it open-ended because mine's gonna be an interesting take on this.
Mine's an unpopular one.
Go for it.
I prefer cloudy days to sunny days.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It could
I
be.
can't tell you why. That's why it's
I
irrational.
I'm white as hell. I sunburned it for like 15 minutes, so I prefer cloudy days as well. Mine is that I love the cold. Alaska is my favorite place to be on Earth, not only because it's beautiful, majestic, and gorgeous, has a bunch of animals, but because the fact that the weather is what I like, right? Even in the dead of winter. I've been there during maybe not the dead of winter, but the fall seasons. I haven't been there in the summer, because everyone always says, oh, well, you went during the summer. No. I went in March, in the spring, and I went in October in the fall. Like, I've been there like on the shoulder seasons, if you will. And it's cold and freezing, and I love every bit of it. So for me, the my irrational weather opinion, in the sense that no one else seems to agree with me, is that I love cold weather. I would much rather be in cold weather than in hot weather.
We base our vacations on mostly, is it going to be cooler than it is at home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can put so many more clothes on to be warm.
That's right.
You can only get so
never take
naked.
enough off.
Yep.
Yeah. So mine maybe doesn't even fit within the way I asked it, but definitely under the unpopular maybe, is that I get very frustrated with people that don't give meteorologists respect. Like, so super frustrated. No.
I feel attacked.
No. Yeah. But it's more so in severe weather times. And I mean, those that know the lore with me know there's been Twitter beefs back in the day. I don't know if you remember this before. Yeah. Somebody attacked me as a meteorologist in my forecaster. I was like, I'm not a meteorologist. I just retweeted something, man. What are you attacking me with? Like death threats and everything.
I'm a dude with an account.
Seriously. But my big thing, and I know sometimes you just have to have humor and you have to joke to get through, but it's people that complain all the time about people getting things wrong. It's like, well, how often are they getting it right? Science is not ever 100%. You're always basing things. You have a hypothesis. You keep testing it until it becomes law or fact. But not everything's always going to be right. You're doing the best you can. Things are always changing.
You're never going to get credit for when you do it right.
Exactly.
It's like an offensive lineman. When things are going great, nobody notices you.
Right.
And it's the people that don't understand how difficult it is sometimes. Now, I know I'm probably in the few, and I know I'm amongst friends, but the overwhelming majority of people, when you think about it, when you see comment sections and things like that, do not understand basics of some science, even when it's explained to you. So I guess my big beef is just the uneducated, because they choose not to be educated. And that's my big opinion there, is that there are too many dumb people that have opinions that think they are valued and matter.
What's your weather opinion? Let us know in the comments below. If you're watching, if you're listening to the podcast, hit us up on socials. Everybody, roll call.
JBB Journeys.
It's go time.
Jim Chandler now.
We went backwards. I wasn't expecting that.
I know. I was throwing things off.
You should say the way around.
It was unpredictable.
Weatherman!
Like
the jet stream changed directions.
How many of our podcasts have references to Coleman Domingo?
Thank you for listening to the Untitled Film Project Podcast. To support the show, please rate, review, follow, and subscribe. Original music by Jeremy Schwartz. Special thanks to the Music City Film Critics Association. Editing and post-production by Jeremy K. Gover. Voiceover by Chad Bennett.